Hey everyone and welcome to my channel, The Reader Teacher. My name's Scott. In these coming soon videos, I'll be sharing my most anticipated children's books releases for each month. This video is Series 2, Episode 4 of Coming Soon, and it previews the upcoming books for the month of April 2022. You can find my previous month's Coming Soon videos here. I'll be going through them in release date order, and where they have the same release date, then they'll be alphabetically by title. If you just want to hear about a specific book, then make sure to use the timestamps in the description below. I hope this video helps you to discover more children's books to add to your TBRs, and I'll be doing more monthly videos like this one throughout the year. So make sure to leave me a like, hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time I release a new video. Let me know in the comments below which of the books you like the look of, and all the links to the books that I mention in this video will also be in the description box below. So let's take a look at the books. First up is The Book of Sisters by Olivia, Meikle and Katie Nelson, out on the 5th of April. Published by a new non-fiction publisher for children, Neon Squid. This is one of their first titles, and it's definitely the standout from the 6 that I've received this month, but I also recommend you to check out their others too. In this one, we go on a whirlwind tour of women's history, from the courts of Imperial China to the French Revolution, to shine a light through stories of amazing sister siblings often overlooked in history. There's sisters who went to war with each other, sisters who became international stars, and even ones who took on entire armies together. Books like this belong in every school and home, so huge thanks Neon Squid for the finished copy. Following on from the incredible and Blue Peter Book Award Best Books with Facts winning Invented by Animals, Built by Animals by Christiane, Dorion and Yeji, out on the 5th of April, introduces us to the creatures who have inspired the materials and techniques that are used by humans in the building world today. This book dives into the world of biomimicry and shows its readers that the future of architecture can be inspired by and be respectful of nature. From the bees' honeycomb shape that strengthens structures, to termites that build their nests with natural aircon, these creatures did it first, and it explains why we copy them as inspiration. Answering questions like, how can we use more solar energy to power our homes? How can we grow plants in the desert? And how can we clean polluted rivers? It explores this amazing STEM subject in a superb and deceptively simple way. Thanks Quarto Kids for sending me a finished copy. Human Town by Alan Durant and Anna Doherty, out on the 5th of April, is a brilliantly subversive and thoughtful picture book about pollution, consumerism and the importance of the environment, told by Junior and his elephant family, who are excited to visit Human Town, where they can observe humans living their day-to-day lives in their own town. Humans are becoming less and less common, and Junior is excited to watch them. But when the elephants arrive, they are saddened as they start to notice the major issues humans have caused, such as being greedy and selfish and no longer caring about their environment. They soon realise that if humans carry on this way, then they will soon become extinct. And this story ends by saying, imagine a world with no humans. And it is with this that this book will be a great conversation starter, especially for children, about conservation and human behaviour towards the planet. Thanks Tiny Owl for the finished copy. Rainbow Hands by Mamta, Nainy and Jo Lauren Fisher, out on the 5th of April, is a colour-filled story that celebrates the joy of finding out who you are and embracing the courage to be yourself. When a little boy paints his nails with his mum's nail polish, he discovers the most important thing of all, the magic of being his true self. He knows that when he dips his brush into those magical bottles of nail polish, he will find a colour to express his every mood and feeling. At times his papa frowns and says, "What have you done to your nails?" At other times he says, "Why don't you paint on paper instead?" But from brightest yellows and infinite whites to glowing oranges and swirling blues, this little boy knows that painting his nails makes his hands look beautiful. Thanks Lantana for sending me a beautiful finished copy of this book. Out on the 7th of April is Ajay and the Mumbai Sun by Varsha Shah. Written against the backdrop of modern India, Ajay is abandoned on the Mumbai railways and has grown up with nothing but a burning wish to become a journalist. After finding an old printing press, he creates his own newspaper, named the Mumbai Sun, with the help of his friends. As they begin to hunt down stories for their paper, they also start to uncover corruption, injustice and a battle to save where they live from being bulldozed. Tackling tough topics such as social justice and a sense of truth in journalism, this debut novel sounds like it's going to be a superb read, so thanks very much Chicken House for the finished copy. From Alex Gino, the award-winning author of Melissa, previously published as George, comes Alice Austen Lived Here, out on the 7th of April. A new story that will empower kids to think about the history they are traditionally taught. Sam is non-binary, so when their home borough of Staten Island opens up a contest for a new statue, they're determined not to go for a dead straight cisgender white male subject, because they know that history should be rich and diverse, but try telling their teacher that. When Mr. Watrous asks the class to come up with a worthy subject for the statue for the local competition, Sam thinks it will be the worst project ever. But then, Sam stumbles upon photographer Alice Austen and discovers a rich queer history around them. Big thanks to Scholastic for the finished copy. Next is Atoms by John Devolle, out on the 7th of April, which is the perfect picture book in a new scientific series to introduce little minds to big ideas. From the little to the large, this one combines bold, colourful illustrations with jokes and incredible facts to introduce and explain some amazing and mind-blowing scientific concepts such as atoms and cells in terms that readers, young and old, can understand, including the fact that you, your dog and everyone you know are all actually made of stardust. Thanks Pushkin Press for the finished copy. I'm sure like me that you are just as excited to see The Girl Who Lost a Leopard, the third captivating adventure from Nizrana Farook, author of such stories as The Girl Who Stole an Elephant and The Boy Who Met a Whale, coming out on the 7th of April. In this one we follow Selvi, a wild child who loves exploring the beautiful mountains behind her home with her friend Loka. But Loka is no ordinary partner in crime. She's a leopard, and hunters are coming for her. Determined to fight to save her friend, what can Selvi do against such powerful enemies, especially when the friend she turns to for help is not all they seem to be? Thanks Nosy Crow for sending me a gorgeous finished copy. The Great Fox Illusion by Justyn Edwards, out on the 7th of April, is the start of a new series where secrets, illusions and magic tricks come together, and that's inspired by the author's watching of magic shows, and it looks incredible. 13-year-old Flick has won a place on a new television show in which young people compete to win the legacy of the Great Fox, one of the world's most famous magicians. But Flick isn't interested in uncovering the Great Fox's tired old magic tricks. She's after something much more important. The magician destroyed her family, and this is Flick's only chance to put things right. Inside the fox's house is a secret that will change the world of magic forever, and Flick will go to any lengths to find it. I'm really excited to read this, so huge thanks Walker Books for the glittering, golden, finished copy. Hidden homelessness is an increasingly important topic, and has anyone seen Archie Ebbs by Simon Packham, out on the 7th of April, handles it with both humour and heart. Archie Ebbs has the perfect life, good friends, a nice home and classmates who laugh at nearly all his jokes. What more could he want? But Archie has to leave all that behind when his family loses their home and moves into temporary housing. With his own worries overwhelming him, Archie starts to question, is he really beginning to become invisible? Whilst his older sister is determined to hide their situation from her friends, Archie finds himself disappearing. But being invisible isn't half as much fun as it ought to be. With the help of his new friend and also invisible neighbour, Zofia, can he get back his beloved cat Dinger and start to make himself visible again? Thanks Firefly Press for the finished copy. From Justyn A. Reynolds, It's the End of the World and I'm in my bathing suit, out on the 7th of April, is set on the day of the beach bash in Eddie's neighbourhood, which is the highlight of the summer calendar. But when Eddie's mum finds his monstrous pile of dirty laundry, he's banned from leaving until he's washed the whole pile. However, mid-cycle the power goes out, and with his first load of laundry wet and the rest of his stuff still filthy, he sets out to explore his neighbourhood in his glow-in-the-dark swim trunks, flip-flops and a beach towel. After meeting up, Eddie and his friends find that everyone seems to have disappeared, and as night falls the crew realise that they aren't just the only people left in the neighbourhood, they might be the only people left anyway. Thanks Scholastic for the finished copy. This one sounds really exciting. Originally published in hardback in June last year, Musical Truth, A Musical Journey of Modern Black Britain in 28 Songs by Jeffrey Boakye and Ngadi Smart comes out on the 7th of April in paperback. Rather than reading this as a book, it should be seen more as a structured playlist, redefining Black British history, looking at it through the lens of music and exploring the emotional impact of 28 songs and the groundbreaking artists who performed them. From Lord Kitchener to Stormzy, this unique take-by-take in track form puts this factual history book on another level and is one that should definitely be used in schools across the country to provide a new perspective on the historical significance of songs that have since changed British culture forever. Thanks Faber for the finished copy. In My Brother Ben by Peter Carnavas, also out on the 7th of April, Luke and his big brother Ben spend the summer on the banks of Cabbage Tree Creek. The boys couldn't be more different from each other. While Ben leaps off the jumping tree, Luke prefers to sketch birds, but they both share a special bond between them. When a local competition to win a boat is announced, the boys dream of exploring the creek together aboard their new boat. But with new things on the horizon, such as Ben beginning high school, the boys start to drift apart. Can their close friendship survive all these changes? Thanks Pushkin Press for sending me a finished copy. Nicola Davies is one of my favourite authors, not least because she lives in Wales, and I'm delighted to see One World, 24 Hours on Planet Earth, illustrated by Jenni Desmond, coming out on the 7th of April. With Earth Day 2022 happening on the 22nd of April, this book is a celebration of our world and its wonders. As the clock strikes midnight, a little girl and her sister visit amazing animals of every shape and size, all around the world. Visiting different time zones, they discover that some creatures are waking up and just starting their day, whereas others are already out hunting for food. Join them on an international adventure like no other and see how many amazing animals you can spot between the 12 chimes of midnight. Big thanks Walker Books for the beautiful finished copy. Shyness is often misunderstood, and I have first-hand experience of this myself because in some situations I am shy. But aren't we all? Struggling to speak, feeling nervous and missing out on opportunities are just some of the signs of shyness that we can see, let alone those we also feel. But have you ever considered how shyness can also be your superpower? In Shy and Mighty by Nadia Finer and S.T.E.A.L.T.H out on the 7th of April, we can learn about the science behind our shyness, find our inner voices and look at it in a new way, all without pretending to be something we're not. Packed with tools and ideas to help its readers take small steps into understanding their shyness, this book brims with empathy and should be on every bookshelf. Thanks DK Books for the finished copy. S.T.E.A.L.T.H, Access Denied by Jason Rohan out on the 7th of April is the first book in a high-octane new series that's full of intrigue, danger and secret agents. When his dad disappears, Aaron Lal is amazed to discover that he was working on a top-secret artificial intelligence project, a creation so powerful arch-villains have kidnapped him in their attempt to steal it. Plunged into the world of espionage, Aaron enters a desperate race to rescue his father and find the AI before the thieves can turn it into the world's deadliest weapon. And this one looks perfect for fans of Alex Rider and one to keep you on the edge of your seat. Big thanks Nosy Crow for the finished copy. The Treasure Under the Jam Factory by Chrissy Sains and Jenni Taylor, out on the 7th of April, is the second story in the series and follow-up to An Alien in the Jam Factory, with more adventures from the talented inventor Scooter and his top-secret alien sidekick Fizby. Maclay's Jam Factory is scheduled for a grand reopening tonight, but when Scooter's nemesis shows up and reveals her name is still on the deeds, Scooter must either hand over all his best ideas or find the money to buy the factory. Luckily for Scooter, there is treasure under his nose, buried deep below the factory, but it's not long before he finds out that he's not the only one after the gold. Thanks Walker Books for sending me a finished copy. David Long digs up the fascinating story behind the discovery of the most famous pharaoh's tomb in Tutankhamun's treasure, out on the 7th of April, and illustrated by Stefano Tambellini. Transporting readers to the Valley of Kings on the 4th of November 1922, a young Egyptian boy working on Howard Carter's archaeological dig stumbled across a strange piece of rock. On closer inspection, it turned out to be a stone step that led Carter to a long-lost tomb and the discovery of his dreams. Belonging to boy pharaoh Tutankhamun, the tomb was packed full of priceless artifacts, but did the excavation of the tomb put a curse on Carter and all who were there? Find out more in this fascinating factual book that is a must for anyone wanting to know more about ancient Egypt. Big thanks Barrington Stoke for the finished copy. We Sang Across the Sea, The Empire Windrush and Me by Benjamin Zephaniah and illustrated by Oninya Iwu is a powerfully moving and special picture book about the voyage of HMT Empire Windrush. Out on the 7th of April and written as a brand new poem, it's perfect for teaching young children about inclusivity and diversity as it captures the hopes, dreams and bravery of the Windrush generation through the real-life experiences of Trinidadian musician Mona Baptiste, who you can find out more about in the back of the book. Thanks Scholastic for sending me a stunning finished copy. Ever wanted your wishes to come true? Well, look no further than Wished by Lissa Evans, out on the 7th of April, which tells the story of how the biggest wishes can come true in the most unexpected ways. In this one, Ed and his sister Rue are faced with the most boring half-term holiday in history and having to spend it in the company of their elderly neighbour, Miss Filey. But appearances can be deceiving, and when they find a box of birthday candles at Miss Filey's house, their world changes completely. Because with each of these candles comes a real wish. But when you're granted wishes, what do you wish for? And what happens when you discover a problem? That some of those wishes belong to someone else. Big thanks David Ficklin Books for the finished copy. Out on the 14th of April is The Drama Llama by Rachel Morris Rowe and Ella Oxstad. Alex Allen, like lots of children, sometimes worries about things. But unlike lots of children, every time he worries, a real-life llama appears. And the more Alex worries, the bigger the llama grows, which starts to get him into all sorts of trouble. Will Alex ever learn how to control his worries and this pesky llama? Cleverly balancing a conversation about mental health for young children with a wonderfully humorous way of doing so, this picture book offers practical advice for dealing with worries and what to do when a worry comes to stay and will not go away. Thanks Puffin for the beautiful finished copy. Amy feels like everything is going wrong in Every Cloud by Ros Roberts, out on the 14th of April. For a start, she's just found out she isn't going to the same high school as everyone else. Add to that her annoying younger brothers, Pop's worsening dementia, and Cassie, her supposed best friend, being meaner than ever, and Amy's summer is not looking how she wanted it to be. Especially when Mum tells her they're moving in with Gran and Pops for the holidays too. But when she discovers friendship from someone who lives over the road from her grandparents, she soon learns the power of it. But when pressures start to creep back in, can Amy hang on to a summer of silver linings? Thanks Little Tiger for the finished copy. Meet Gaia, the ancient Greek goddess who created the earth and the universe that stretched beyond it, in Gaia, Goddess of Earth by Imogen and Isabel Greenberg, out on the 14th of April. Written and illustrated by two remarkable sisters, this story tells how Gaia raised trees from their roots to the sky, sent waterfalls tumbling over cliffs, and created the tides that sloshed on the shore. She gifted her creation to animals and mortals and watched as they made it their home. But she also created a force she couldn't control, the ambition of gods. Gaia watched as the gods fought brutal wars and manipulated mortals, disturbing peace on Earth. However, Gaia never gave up fighting for a better world. Big thanks Bloomsbury for the beautiful finished copy. Welcome to the World of Hedgewitch by Skye McKenna, out on the 14th of April, the first book in an enchanting new series where witches aren't born, they're made. After receiving the news that her mother is officially declared dead, Cassie Morgan runs away. Arriving at the village of Hedgeley with a flying broom and a talking cat after a run-in with a pack of child-nabbing goblins, she discovers she comes from a family of witches and begins to uncover the secrets of the forest and the world of fairy folk that lies on the other side. But will Cassie also discover the truth about her mother? And will she be able to save her new home from the shadowy magic of the fairy? Thanks Wellback Flame for the stunning finished hardback copy. I Got This, co-authored by Cara Maley and Chrissy Sains, out on the 14th of April, is inspired by the real-life experiences and larger-than-life personality of co-author Cara, who has achondroplasia, the most common form of dwarfism, and who featured on CBBC's documentary My Life Made to Measure. In this one we follow Erin, who decides to go for it when a mega-famous pop group announces a competition for fans to be part of their next music video. She wants to show her younger brother that in life there are no limits, even if you don't look like most other kids. But making an audition video is proving more difficult than Erin expected. It's almost like her best friend is trying to ruin it. And when an opportunity comes up that might increase her chances, Erin begins to wonder, can she stay true to herself and pursue her dreams? Thanks Scholastic for the finished copy. Katja Balin is fast becoming one of my favourite writers with her sensational and sensitively told stories like October October and The Space We're In. So to see the light in everything, illustrated by Sydney Smith, out on the 14th of April, makes me very happy. In this one there's Tom, who's still quiet and timid, even though his dad has been gone for nearly 2 years. And then there's Sophia, who is the complete opposite. Inside her there's a raging storm that makes her want to fight the whole world until she gets what she wants. Things get worse when both their worlds collide because Tom's mum and Sophia's dad are in love and Tom moves into Sophia's house. And then the two of them find out they're having a baby too. Tom and Sophia both wish the stupid baby had never happened. But then Tom's mum gets ill and it begins to look horribly like their wish might come true. Mixing blended families, new life and new love, I just know that this is going to be more of the same high quality that we've come to expect from Katya. So thanks Bloomsbury for the finished copy. The Sky Over Rebecca by Matthew Fox, out on the 14th of April, is a thrilling tale of two worlds coming together when 10-year-old Kara finds mysterious footprints in the Stockholm snow. Where have they come from and who do they belong to? Following them, they lead Kara to Rebecca, a 13-year-old Jewish girl, and her younger brother Samuel. As Kara realises they are refugees from another time, World War II, and they are trying to find their way home, can she form a friendship with them that spans the years between them to help her new friends escape before it's too late? Thanks Ajay for the gorgeous finished copy. Pack your suitcase for the third and final magical adventure at the Strange Worlds Travel Agency with The Secrets of the Storm Forest by L.D. Lipinski, out on the 14th of April. Flick and Jonathan have faced countless dangers in their roles as part of the Strange World Society and come out alive on the other side. But what do they really know about the society they are risking their lives for? Why does it exist? Who is Strange Worlds there to protect? And what in the world is happening to the multiverse now? With worlds everywhere under threat of collapse and mysteries abounding, it's up to Flick and Jonathan to discover the answers to these questions, and only if they can uncover the secrets of Strange Worlds and the secrets of a new mysterious world called the Storm Forest will they have any hope of defending their world and others from the threat that is facing them all. Big thanks Ajay for sending me a proof copy. Take your seats for the entire history of planet Earth as we take a whistle-stop tour from the birth of Earth to the age of bacteria, the era of dinosaurs, to the moment of people, in the greatest show on Earth, the first non-fiction book from internationally best-selling creator Minnie Gray, out on the 28th of April. Narrated by a friendly troupe of insects and with mind-blowing lively illustrations, this illustrated non-fiction book will entertain and educate readers, putting on a show for them, the greatest show of the evolution of life on Earth. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on a copy. The Offline Diaries by Yome Adegoke and Elizabeth Uvi Benene, out on the 28th of April, is a fresh and funny story of friendship told in the voices of two secondary school girls. Having just moved here and started a new school, Aid is not happy with her new stepdad for making them move here. On the other hand, Shanice has been living with her dad since her mum died and spending most of her time outside school in her dad's salon. When Aid and Shanice meet one day at the salon and spot each other's diaries, a fast friendship is formed and they start to chat online. But offline is a whole other story. Thanks HarperCollins for the proof copy. I really love the look of Skandar and the Unicorn Thief by A.F. Steadman, out on the 28th of April. In this one, Skandar Smith has only ever wanted to be a unicorn rider and dreams of leaving the mainland to escape to the secretive island, where powerful unicorns roam free. He spent years studying for the annual test that selects the 13-year-olds ready to train to become unicorn riders. But on the day of Skandar's exam, things go horribly wrong and his hopes are shattered. A dark and twisted enemy has stolen the island's most powerful unicorn. As the threat of the enemy grows ever closer, Skandar discovers a secret that could blow apart his world forever. And this is one fantasy world I want to be immersed in. So huge thanks Simon & Schuster for the stunning finished copy. From two best-selling and award-winning creators comes Welcome to the World by Julia Donaldson and Helen Oxenbury, out on the 28th of April, which presents the planet through the eyes, ears and experiences of babies' first times. From the everyday events and monumental milestones in a baby's life, they are all given equal importance within these pages, and parents and families will be able to relate to each of them in turn. Told in Julia's trademark rhyming text and complemented by Helen's beautiful illustrations, this book will surely become a modern classic. To end the month is Wilder Than Midnight by Kerry Burnell, out on the 28th of April, that celebrates differences and found families. Silverthorn is a place of secrets, a forest of twisting paths and tangled thorns, a castle with locked towers and whispers of tragedy, a village trapped between terrors known and unknown. but something is stirring in the leaves. Safi is a good girl, tired of being told to stick to the forest paths and always follows the rules. Aurelia is a hidden girl, locked in a castle tower, dreaming of escaping the fate she's told awaits her. Wild Rose is a fierce girl, raised by wolves, full of spells and fearlessness and cunning. Together they will change life in Silverthorn forever. I can't wait to read this, to find out how. So these are the books I'm most excited about reading this month. Let me know in the comments below which children's books you're looking forward to reading, particularly from those featured in this video, or any others you've got your eye on. As always, keep reading, and I'll see you in the next video.